Hello everybody, this is Sonya. Let's see if this is out far. Yes. Well, I hope you can see what we're doing now, because today we're going to actually put the inside into the needle book that I'm making, because a lot of you have said that you're looking forward to seeing that, and I'm sort of a little bit behind with mine, but I've only got those two bits there to stitch down. So I can do those myself even after I've put the insides in there. It'll still work for me, okay? Now, I've got another piece of felt here. I bought this online actually, and it's quite good. I was really pleased with that. I got that from AliExpress, and it's it's a nice piece, nice soft piece of felt, so that's good. And it's a good sized piece too that I got here. So I was really pleased with that, and I've got a couple other colours. So I'm going to just cut this out to fit in here. Okay, be very careful because you don't want it to be too small. Alright, so this is going to line the inside of the cover. You can use a piece of material if you want to, but I'm going to use the felt, because then I can use the it to put stuff on, I think. It doesn't look very straight, does it? I'm having an issue with this straight business. Now I'm going to sew this, I think, by hand. I don't think I'm going to use the machine. I can, but now I've chopped that, as I would say. Sometimes I say don't chop it, and I do chop things. So now we've got that bit, right? That is going to be fastened on. It's got a lot of fluffy bits on it. That's going to be fastened onto the cover. Now maybe I could just run around there with the machine. If you can handle watching that, I can do that for you and show you how to do that, because I have to move the machine over here in front of me. This is too big, isn't it? Look, it's too big. Do again. Righto. I might just cut out the pages and that for us while we're here. What do you reckon? Get it all sorted, what we're going to do with it. Take a bit more off the top of this. Just a tiny bit across here. But I just might just go around there with but then again, that's going to take away from me. Oh dear, I've gone too far in. Gone too far in, did I? If I did it by hand, I think I'd like it better if it was done with a blanket stitch. I really do. But I don't think I'll put you through that, because that's going to take me a couple of minutes, I think, to do that. What do you reckon? Should I? Look, I can do that later. I can even put the middle bits in here anyway, the pages and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I want to get down the things that I want to put in it, okay? Because there's no good me making this if I can't put my needles and things in, is there? I've got to have enough space for what I want to put in it, okay? So I've got these things here organised. I think I'm organised, right? So I've got, I don't think I brought in, I got some of these chalky things. I bought some more of these online, that one there, these dressmaker ones, because I wanted to have them if I needed one. And then this morning, I was out there, I'll just use this. They do right, but you've got to give them a good scratching. This one is a better one. Oh no, he's got to do. But I was really disappointed with what I got, because they seem to be a lot of work to get them on there. But anyway, we can't be worried about that now. So I'm going to have a place for these pencil-y things. And the chalky bit that I've got, I like that. I need somewhere to put my unpicked thing, unpicking. I do a lot of that. I've got that one because it's got a cover on these. I think this one has too, but it's a bit big anyway to go in there, so that can be kept here for use. I have these packets of needles, but I'm going to take them out of there. And I have these needle threaders. And I want to put them in there, okay? So I've also got more needles of different sorts. So what I need to do is make sure that I've got enough pages for enough different sorts of needles, okay, or places, okay, enough places. So we're going to have that all in there, because I've gone through all of my needles. I still have a drawer full of needles and pins and things. but that's okay. We can handle that, can't we? We're good. So in here, I'm going to put felt. I have some really nice wool fabric, but I'm sort of looking at doing the felt because it works really good. You can do it. This is nice, isn't it? I want it to sort of be going with the front of it, you know what I mean? So let's put in, we're going to be able to use this page. We're going to have a couple more pages. These are a different sort, but they're nice. Different sort of felt, but they're really nice. It's really weird, you know. I'm sitting here thinking, if I use them, I'll go back and buy more. I'll have to, is what my thought process is on this, because I really want to go. I want to go back and buy some more. I'll put that one in. It's pretty, isn't it? Why not have a nice, pretty colour? Why not have nice, pretty colours through here? And the green, I really like the green. Okay. And my cat seems to think I'm speaking to him. I think I better lower my voice a bit. He might think I want him. Anyway, poor little fella. He's not little. So anyway, so we got that bit. Orchid, it's called now. I know where I got that from. I hope she's got some more. So I got this one up to town, the shop. So if that goes in there like that, what do you reckon? Do you think I should have coloured pages? I think so. Why not? Yes, you can do what you want, Sonia. Do what you want. And the felt, like this piece, this here, I will definitely blanket stitch around because that's what I want to do. And that'll make that really nice and safe. And then I'm going to put this one inside, and you know, you have to make them a bit small as you go along because when you close it, they tend to come out the edge here. So we're going to fill that where that's going to be. I suppose it doesn't matter. I don't mind if I can see the colour of the page. It doesn't matter to me. I suppose we could put them all in the same colour. It's everybody's personal choice, but because I've got the front cover like I have, I really want to do something with that. So I'm going to have a ruler for this because I'm not going to be able to, whoops, maybe not that one. It's moving the whole room. And the ruler would be in this drawer here. I seem to throw everything in this drawer. The drawer's part way open, not very far though. Okay, this come here a minute. It's avoiding me now. The whole thing's here. I got one. I got one. I have a room full of these things. So I wanted it to be there. Now I don't do anything really, so that'll be probably 5 centimetres in because there's a bit on the end of the ruler and I'm gonna use it to measure with too because I want to get it right. I don't want to muck it up. So I'm putting a pencil mark there at 4. Maybe it's not quite 5, but if I keep that going along there, I should be right. Righto, now I'm going to lay my ruler down and put a line. I don't know how far this was going along here. I don't know. That's right, still, so that's good. How far was that along here? We should have measured that too. We can do that now or later, doesn't matter. Okay, put it on top. If you put it on top, it might make it a bit easier. I've made myself some pin cushions in the past, and I've made only a couple of very small needle books, but I've never done anything like this. Never done anything like this. I'm going to put that, push that back there, sneak underneath it with my ruler, and cut that off down there. So, There we go. Hope that's going to be straight. I'm going to use my pinking shears because I'm not going to be... These are very stiff. I've had them for many years. Don't use them a lot, but they are really worth buying in the first place, especially a good pair. You need to buy a good pair. You do. It's worth it because you can cut paper with them, but I do have paper ones as well. And they're the kids ones, and the kids ones work really good. It's incredible, isn't it? Kids ones are really good to use. I've collected up from different places over the years. Used them a long time ago, but not so much anymore, so I must have... And you got to get out there and use a few things, don't you? We do tend to have a collection of stuff, of good bits and pieces that we don't really use that much. But you know what? It comes back around. It comes back around. I've got a lot of things that I haven't used for years, but it comes back around. Might change my mind and go off and use them sometime. Okay. A little bit of issues on how... I need to hold this. I hope you don't mind if I'm not too close to you. I won't hit you with the scissors, I hope. I'm trying not to cut it back too far because I know that I cut it smaller and I don't want it to be too... I think I did anyway. I don't want it to be too small. There we go. I don't want that on, that's annoying. Right. I'm just going to test that one, and if it fits in there, I'm going to do the green one the same, cut it out the same, okay? I don't think it comes over very far, but if it does, I'll just take a bit off one side before I stitch it in. Now I want to do the green one. Beautiful this, isn't it? Can't wait to put it through the big shot and cut out some leaves. Like I don't have enough things like that cut out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The more the merrier. You can have some fun with it. If you've got lots to work with, you can have some fun with it. I want to keep that laying down there so I can stay next to it. And it set good and still for me, so that was good. I think these pages may be enough because we're going to put pockets and places to pin your pins and needles in. I hope there'll be enough. This is going to make it a bit thick, and then I'll need a band or something to go around it, I think. Whoa there. Whoops, there we go. And around this bit, and around that bit. Hang on a second. Do we move you? Isn't this pretty? I do love a pretty colour. I actually been making a lot of really pretty coloured things until yesterday. Yesterday I had no power. We had no power for the day because the electricity company told us they were going to turn it off for the day because we're around the outside of the town. They're building a bypass thing for the traffic. And it's costing them heaps and heaps. I'm talking about millions of dollars as far as I know. But anyway, it's supposed to be take all the big traffic out that way, all the big trucks and things like that. They're supposed to be going to go out there. So over the, months and that, they've been turning off people's power and giving you, notice, but turning it off for the day. And from 8 until 4 it was going out. Anyhow, we got all prepared for that, except for the fact that we weren't really prepared. We just sort of psyched ourselves up to think, well, that's going to be interesting, but we'll just have to deal with that. Now, doesn't that look sexy? Silly thing to say, Sonya. Sorry about that. I don't think it does. Looks like... Oh, goodness me. I don't usually use words like that. Sorry, people. You'll have to just, grin. Just grin and bear that. Okay, so I'm pleased about that bit, right? Now, I have to sew him in, right? But I think I've got not got any idea how long I've been on here. I wonder how long it'll take me to zoom around that with me, stitching. What do you reckon? I'll go for a few minutes. I'll do 5 or 10 minutes and see if I can actually give it some stability before I start to put the pockets and that in this. And then we'll see, once I sew this in, then I can put the pockets and things in there, because we'll have places to put each sort of needle. Plus we've got that front bit there. So let's just give a bit of a stitch around this and see how we go. So I want something that's going to be seen and look good. And some cottons here. Got some threads. So we sat around in the dark. Not the dark really. For a while in the morning time we did. And then we went and got to bed, because we got up early, about 6 o'clock, so we could have a couple of hours before the lights went out. Anyway, that's not right. What about this one here, the yellow? I think the yellow won't be that vibrant, but it'll still work. Yeah, so, and then for about an hour, and I couldn't go to sleep. My big toe was hurting so bad, and I don't know why. Could have been because I was machining, the sewing machine, or something, because then, and I could not go to sleep, and I was cold, because I can't, my body doesn't generate enough heat for me, I'm sure, because I'm a frog of a thing. I get really cold in the winter time, and my body starts to hurt really bad. That one would be a bit better. It's a little bit thicker. I think I might put that around there. But then it's not giving it any sort of oomph, is it? I need something with a bit of oomph to it. Maybe the blue, but can I get a thicker piece? Maybe the blue, but can I get a thicker one? I have bought so much pink stuff. Be careful opening this. I already took the skin off my finger one time for that. Beautiful box, isn't it? I got one from Spotlight and one from the shop here, and I wasn't happy with the one from Spotlight. It was all cracked. The lady wanted me to send her back pictures of it. I couldn't do that, didn't know how. I thought, well, I'll just use it. Don't worry about you. I didn't want to send pictures. What colour was I going to put on there? I'm talking. I wanted a thicker blue, didn't I? And I don't have a thicker blue. I do have a light one. Oh, there's a variegated one. I don't know, between them two, I suppose. Or the pink. Oh, stop trying to make a decision, Sonya. It's not working for you. How about that? No. Oh, dear. Anyway. So then, I decided, well, this isn't going to work, so I got up. And I came in here, and I looked for my, what was that in there? I looked for me velvet fabric. Jeremy come in and helped me. And in here, with the window curtain open and that, I could see enough to find them things. Couldn't see enough to sit in here and sew though, and plus it was too cold. We had the heater on out in the lounge room for a few hours, so that warmed that part of the house up a bit. So we went back out there, and Jeremy put the blind up, and we've fastened back the curtains and turned on the little, we have a battery operated lantern thing. It's pretty good. And, that's not big enough to pull that through there. If you understand that, that's what I just said. It's got to have it's got to be a thick needle to take through the cotton. This one's a bit bent, and it's not, yeah, so the needle's got to have a bit of power behind it, so I'll take this one off here. Yeah, so we had all that going, and then he went and did a bit of reading, and he went outside and he mowed, and then he went out and cleaned out the bird cage. things that he would, it's really weird, you know, because usually he'd be working in the garden, but it was really overcast and crappy day outside, you know, there was no sun about or anything, and I rang my daughter with my mobile because, you know, we couldn't use the house phone because it was, because electricity, of course, and I said to her, you know, I'm in the dark and I'm freezing. She said, I don't have to tell you this, Mum. She said, but when they turned ours out, they said they were going to turn it on at 4, and then they said they were going to turn it on at 5, and she said, and that just was not good. They were not happy because they went away for the day and come back home and they still didn't have any power. Anyway, so they didn't get theirs back on 8 o'clock. And I thought, oh no, it's not good. Anyway, did a fair bit of work on the new bag that I'm doing. Now I want to make these so they're level because I want to be able to see it on here, right? And on here, so I'm holding I usually, to do this, I'll just hold my fingers in the same place, hopefully, about the same distance down away from what I'm doing. Okay. Now, let me go back in there. I'm going to do a blanket stitch, but I want it to be up on the top. So what am I doing here? So I get back over this way. I just want to make sure this all comes through the same distance. Like that, okay. See? Because I've got them there, I've got to cut out. I pulled that down too far. Yeah, very excited there. Righto. And I'm actually sewing on the self edge too, but that's all right. Now, I'm just going to loop that through each time, as far as I know. Keep me moving along a bit. And hopefully, if I've got my fingers in the right place and I'm using them as a guide, that'll be the same as far in as what that will. So if I go like that with the needle just against my finger, it will keep the thing in line for me. So I'll do both sides pretty much the same if I can. Okay? So I won't, now I'll spend 5 minutes and see how we go. See how we get far in 5 minutes. Might it be too much for you to stand? I don't know. I'll work out how far this is going to be on this side. Put my thumb there. And this far on this side. And it doesn't matter if they're both not exactly, as long as you can actually see some thread and it looks good. And it doesn't look too bad at all. I just looked at that. Not too bad at all. Try not to take one further over than the other one, you know, by, like, you want to get these level. These two pieces of fabric, so you can be them level. After I made journals for a fair while and did a lot of paper crafting and things like that. And when I got back onto doing this, it was a bit, I felt like I was foreigner to it, but I've just managed to get back in the, what's the name now, the swing of it, I think, of sewing it and embroidery. I've decided that I'm going to buy myself, oh well, I've asked Jeremy about a machine. He said I could have one. He said I could have it now. I'm thinking about wanting it for Christmas. I said, well, if I have it now, what am I going to have for Christmas? That was a bit silly. I could have just had a sandwich for Christmas. All I ever want is for kids to come together and be friends is all I ever want. But that doesn't happen around here. Anyway, I hope it does. One day, you never know. I don't think either of them watch me videos, but if they did, I'd like to say to them now that I'd like to see us together. I'll wait until I die and then come to my funeral. Well, then again, you might not do that either. So that's what happens, doesn't it? Families do these silly things and don't speak to one another until it's all too late, eh? Oh dear. If I get that right. Okay. This looks pretty cool. I do like this. It's effective. I think I'd rather this than doing it with the overlocker, because after spending all that time putting, I could do the overlocker, but I was going to just do a zigzag. After putting all that time into it, you don't want to go and, I'm going to take that down in there, see, and let it go in the bottom of that, okay. He's down in the bottom of there. What have I got here? I might just sew a stitch on there after. Doesn't that look better? Well, it looks nice and neat. I mean, going around with the machine's good too, but this is the effect that I think I want on mine. Everybody's different. We can all do whatever we like. Now, this seems to have gone that way a bit. It's okay. I'm going to have to stitch it down, but I might have to take a tiny bit off. And this is the back, so it is a bit crooked anyway, so we'll fix that. Okay, we'll fix it. Now, do I have 5 minutes yet? I think I might be close to, probably pretty close, probably went over time, but I really would like just to get the top done, just so I can put the bit in. So I'm just going to start down in under here, where I took that thread down through there, see? I'm going to come up back through under here. I did put a knot in it because I didn't want to pull it too far and too fast and wreck it, but I'm going to put a knot in these two pieces of thread so they will end off nicely. You don't want to be pulling, you want it to come undone. Okay. Don't make that too long. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Probably not because my hands are in the road. It's incredible, isn't it? I feel like I've got too many thumbs. Silly thing that is to say, isn't it? Anyway, we'll cut them off. So that's locked in down under there, okay? So it's not going anywhere, and I'm coming out in the same place here at the top that I would do if I was still working on that same piece of thread. There we go. I think I've done a video since I went to the shops. I didn't either. Okay, story time. So I went to the post office because I posted the bag that I sold, and I've seen some lady in there that I've known for a long time, years anyway, and with a little grandson, and she went out before me. And then I was a little bit further behind her, and I come out, and here she comes screaming. The dogs are trying to get me. They're chasing me. The dogs. And she's yelling and screaming and dragging this kid. I said, where are they? I said, where's the dogs? And there was these two men standing there at the corner of the post office talking, and they never took any notice of her. So I said, come on, I'll go with you. I said, we'll be right, come on. I don't know what I was going to do. I mean, I thought I could put me gopher in front of her and the dog or something if she was, because I thought, I would be wary. I wouldn't go near them, but I just wanted to go with her and walk back with her to the car, because usually there isn't any dogs. I thought they'd be, I said, where are they? I was expecting them to be chasing her, actually chasing her. She said, oh, they're in the car. They're in the car next to my car. And I thought, well, come on then, we'll be right. Let's go. So off we go. It took me ages to convince her to go for a start. I said, it's okay. I said, come on. I said, you'll be all right. I said, I'll come with you. They're in a car. They should be, they shouldn't be able to eat her. But anyway, so we gets back there, and there's these two Rottweilers. They weren't even barking or moving or doing anything. One had one door that he was peeping out, and the other one's looking out, not the door, but the window. The window was round down about a halfway, I suppose. Well, so you're not supposed to leave your animals in the car, especially if it's hot or anything, and it wasn't. But they had plenty of air, and they were sitting in their own seats each, and they were peeping out the windows. But when she went there, because she walked around beside it, she didn't see it. And because her car was next to it, and she went to put the little grandchild into the back of the car, and the dog barks and scared the living daylights out of her. And she was shaking. She was really scared. Anyway, so she wouldn't go near it. And anyway, I said, it'll be all right. Come on. They're not even looking at us or barking or anything. And the man that owned them come round there, and he said, they won't hurt you. He said, it'll be fine. He said, they're not going to. He said, they got their seat belts on. I don't know what. Look what Sonya did. She made it too small. I'm going to have to cut that off there, and I feel bad about that, but I'll have to, because now I've made that bit too small. But anyway, as long as we've still got our front piece happening there. If we come over like that, we've still got plenty. And he's there telling them they won't hurt you, it's okay. And then she said that when she was younger, these two dogs attacked her, and she reckoned that the people that owned them was just sitting there laughing. I thought that was a bit rude if they were, and I could understand then why she was scared. I used to be scared of dogs years ago because the one across the road from where I lived when I was young was always barking and chasing you up the road. If, coming behind you, it was a Labrador, and usually they're not bad. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't know. You don't know what the dogs are going to be like, do you? So I'm going to have to cut that straight now, Sonya. So, but anyway, she took ages to talk into getting around in the car. And I said to him, I said, well, if you drive away, then she can go to her car. But he kept on talking about it and, saying how they wouldn't hurt her and all this sort of thing. And I thought, well, the best way to solve this was, for him to go. Anyway, eventually he got in the car and he went. And that was good because I think he was worried that she was going to complain about them. And fair enough, they did scare her, but I think, they seemed quite okay. There's just some might attack you, I suppose, and you have to be careful. But and the poor thing, she was absolutely devastated. But anyway, I must have never mind. She was okay then. She went away. She went off with my grandson, and he was hanging on to her scared to death because I suppose she frightened him because she was screaming out, But anyway, never mind. That was fixed. And surely she wouldn't tell on the man. I mean, he had him in the seat belt. He had the windows open for him, and well, if you walk up behind a dog or next to it, if it's not sure of its environment, I suppose it would bark at you. I don't know. I guess it would. I mean, our dog's really good. She's only little, but if anybody comes here she don't know, she will go clean off at them and look like she's going to pull their leg off. She's only 10 inches high, isn't she, if that? And they're feisty little blokes. She's never, ever, ever bitten anybody, so that's good. She's never bitten anybody. So anyone in the strangers won't get in our backyard, so even ones we do know probably wouldn't either, but they wouldn't come around here to try and do that, I don't think. So that's cool. We've done that. And look at here what I'm doing. I'm pushing it this way now, but it'll be all right. I've still probably been going too long. Sorry about this. I'm going to just go a bit further, end that off, and then we'll try and put some metal in it without mucking it up too much, because I want it still to be straight when I finish. I might have to put some pins in there where I'm going to sew it, And I was going to get a new camera, but they're too expensive. I wanted one that I could pause and everything and then come back on, but I can't afford to do that. Look how far that's come over there now. That's the bit I've cut off the back, isn't it? Anyway, these things do happen. When we're making things, I need to tell you that the whole truth is nothing but the truth. If that happens, It does happen. They can get away from you, these bits. But look, isn't it going to look awesome when I've finished it? And you make it plenty big enough for setbacks like this. And all I'm going to have to do is when I come up, I think I'll finish going down that side and then cut that and go down that side. But we'll have to do that later because I want to show you the inside because everybody wants to see the inside. So it will get done. It's just a matter of me putting something in there, put a pocket or two and things like that. So we'll put the purple one on. Now, it's pretty safe because I'm not going to be sewing it, and I can just cut off what I don't need to put in here, right? So that's going to, if it comes out the end, I could just trim it, can't I? You know, we're not going to be too, I'm not going to go and cut it off before I sew it in because I don't want that to happen. But I'm thinking about making the pockets first in them because, and the places to put the, right, now how we see. So we've got some nice purple here, which we can use for that. These can be used for putting the needles in, can't they? Well, on the first page, we can have a pocket. So on the first page, we'll put a pocket down here out of something a bit different maybe from the felt. Don't know. It just depends because we don't want to have to be fiddling around stitching things and ending off and stuff like that. Making, maybe I could put a felt pocket in it. What am I going to put in the pocket? Well, I cut out these pieces of, what have I done with them? It's here somewhere, little bits here. I was thinking about putting something clear on there. This is just a laminated sheet that I just put through. And I'm thinking about stitching that on there so you can see what's in the pocket. You know? That'll be tricky. Let me think about that a second. Okay. Right. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm really good at this, aren't I? Sorry about that. If I cut that a tiny bit smaller and put something around here, I have this sort of thing that I was looking at the other day. This is out of a book, a photo album thing. But see, if you put stuff down in that, you can still see it, can't you? And that's got a bottom and a side on it. I suppose we could put it that way. If you want to put your scissors in there, I suppose you could do that. It's just an idea, because I think I wanted to go with this thing, either that or some lace, piece of lace that you can see through. Like what? Because it would only have some sort of book or something in it, wouldn't it? About a bit of this here. Because that, to be honest with you, this is going to take a lot of doing, isn't it? Trying to get that on there because you can't glue it. I wouldn't want to glue it anyway. How about this? Look nice. This would look nice for a pocket, wouldn't it? And you can put stuff down in that, even if it's a little booklet or something, can go down in there, or an extra packet of needles or something. You know, you could put something. Well, not that, because they're going to come out of there anyway. But you could put that in the front, couldn't you? I could put that in the front, and then hopefully nothing will get caught on it. I have to cut this up here. So that's on the end bit. This is a bit hard, this stuff. You need me scissors crunching through there, eh? But that's a good size, good colour too. But what you need to do when you're doing this is you've got to think about, you're going to stitch down there. So what you want to do is make sure that seam where you're going to stitch down here, this is back away from it a bit. Okay, and also back away from the side piece here, because you don't want to, and I'm going to look at this and eyeball it and go straight up there, because you don't want it to be coming over across the front of the page. Okay, right, and that's it, that bit, that's the thing. There's a pocket. Maybe we could have made it out of fabric, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to put the lace in there, that's it. I threw that out. That wasn't a good idea. I didn't like that at all. I think I'd like something like this in here. You know, I know the lace was for the see-through idea, but it's not quite in style with me thing I'm making, is it? And I can put a sign on there, what's in there, can't I? I can write that on there. And then I can have a piece of this up the top, and I can start putting some pins in that one, I suppose. It'd be nice. Some pins. We're going to mostly put needles, I think. So I'm going to cut this up here. And this bit. I don't think I should have done the bottom bit, should I? No, I wasn't thinking. I don't think I want to do that bit, but anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew that on there, which is crooked as anything, isn't it? These pinking shears are not that easy, not straight. It's not straight to cut with. So when you do this sort of thing, you only need to go through that piece of felt. You don't need to go through it. People are making these bubbly sort of inserts for theirs, but I'm not going to do that with mine, because for the reason being is I haven't done it before, and we can't do that while we're doing this, can we? Do something different and maybe muck it up. That's not a good idea. Stick to the plan, Sonya. Now if I cut that back there, I can feel underneath. I'm going to have a stitch out there, so I've got to start this over here, right? I do have these flower things too that I will put on a couple of those in my book to give it a bit of, I wonder where the rest of them are. Got it. So I've got some green ones. These are good to put the pins and needles in. This one. Good to use the shapes, isn't it? Good idea, eh? Maybe I won't use that top bit that I've got there. Well, I've got to use these, don't I? It's a bit of fun. Bit of fun. There's a nice blue one. I like that. And I did some of these in the ones that I've sold, actually. So I can't show you how I put these in here. I do like these for your needles. I do like that idea. Haha. Oh look, that's pretty. Oh, now I've gone off in the the world of other things, haven't I? But that's all right. I've got plenty of things to do things with. And that's what I like to have. I like to have enough things that I could have an idea. You know, change things up or whatever you want to do. Okay, righto. Now, I don't know if I told you the story, finished telling you the story about my book thing. So this can be for the pin, for the needles, these things. Do I sew the thing in first? Maybe I should. Maybe I should stitch this in first before I start putting them on there. Okay? Because then I can put them on here and I can have pockets for my, and places to hang me or put my needle threaders and that. So this is going to be tricky. This is going to be tricky. Now if I was doing this on the machine, I could go down there reasonably quick and get it all pretty fast, but when I'm doing it by hand, it actually is a little bit harder because you've got to make sure you're in the right place. Okay, so I can put some pins in that, can't I? I'll put some pins in. I don't even know how long I've been on here, sorry about this. Might have to come back again, you know, because I think I might have been in here too long. Oh, goodness me, how can it be 11:30 already? I better go. Sorry about this, everybody. But, you know, this is the general idea of what I'm going to be doing, okay? I'm going to go now and I'm going to come back in a minute and I'm going to do a bit more, okay? Thank you for watching. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe and share.